started on iOS.
Eu tô tendo algumas dificuldades para a transmissão aqui. Espero que esteja passando alguma coisa aí para vocês. Não sei se o som está saindo. Fiz alguns testes aqui e realmente a tela não se colocou no lugar certo. E não sei o que aconteceu, que a tela está um pouco menor. Mas se alguém estiver assistindo aí, obrigado pela presença. Não, tô sem retorno também, não consigo saber se está tudo funcionando normal. Vamos tentar aqui seguir em frente. Espero que esteja saindo aí. Se não tiver, alguém coloca aí nos comentários do chat. Deixa eu ver. Está sem som.
Of the old journey system is much different than the new journey system. So
Tá, e agora, será que está saindo aí?
really be able to map progress one to one from one to the other. But another cool thing about this system is some things will be retroactively awarded. So there are some steps in the journey system that you may complete.
Como é que está aí agora? Me falem aí.
I can give a really
Se está
easy
saindo
example.
som.
In the Exiled Lands, we ask you to leave the starting desert at a certain point.
Beleza.
Now, if you leave the starting desert before
Peço perdão aí
you get to
que
that point in the
tive
journey,
probleminha no OBS que não
more
queria
steps,
começar a
that
transmissão.
goal to leave the journey will solve retroactively. So there are some things in the journey
Mas
we can
bora lá
take
então.
done and just not ask you to do them because we know you already know how to do it. It's in pretty specific
Obrigado,
cases,
Serena.
but
Obrigado,
for the most part,
Frick,
you
de
don't
me
have to
avisar.
follow the steps.
Não vou falar muito, né? Para não atrapalhar quem está ouvindo.
So I'm just looking over some chat stuff right now. A lot of
Mas
folks
obrigado
are
pela
saying,
presença de
this looks
vocês
really
aí.
cool. Glad that there's something for even like veteran players to get. Other people just saying hello. Let's see. Is the Mummy of the Ring still in the journey steps?
I don't think you'll see that at all. We chose not to include kind of narrative-oriented stuff to start with. Another cool thing about the system is that we made it to be really expandable. So whenever we do new chapters, new updates, things that'll stick around in the game will probably also get a journey that comes along with them. Yeah, Mummy of the Ring.
Rip.
It's not content we'll have implemented, and you'll see as we talk more about this chapter, but that is still a sort of dangling thread for us. Will admins be able to spawn in the special items from it? Yeah, they'll be in the admin panel just like anything else. So if there's a reward in there you don't want to have to do the journey, you can just spawn it as an admin. And you guys will learn, what kind of rewards come from what journeys.
Obrigado pela presença aí. Estranhado chegou aqui. Rodolfo, Douglas, Serena, Frick, obrigado pela presença de vocês aí.
The journey system pretty much has it as well.
Now, are these recipes or is it actual just like gear?
I'd have to double check. No.
Quem entender inglês aí faz favor de traduzindo. A Serena já está perguntando se é uma nova jornada. Se alguém entende aí, já coloca para nós no comentário, faz favor.
If there's not recipes already, we'll get them in eventually.
Cool.
Right now, we're a bit past the translation deadline to add any additional items. So.
Oh right, yeah, because this is like
on the doorstep. Yeah,
Yep.
It's going to be soon.
soon.
But you claim it'll go into your inventory, or?
Yeah. Right into your inventory.
Yeah, it'll just go straight to your inventory. Cool. Okay. And then yeah, like we'll open some time up towards the end of the stream also to recap a couple things. Or if you have any other questions about anything we covered here, we'll answer what we can. So yes, very good, very good.
A minha voz está saindo, o áudio está saindo, galera? Alguém, quem é moderador, faz favor de dar um retorno. A minha voz está saindo?
With the next update.
Estou sem retorno
For
aqui.
everyone, you don't have to like do anything or get anything special.
Yeah.
It's just for everyone.
Yeah. Whenever we get into the stuff that is like, battle pass and bizarre oriented, we'll probably give a disclaimer.
Sure. Right. But the journey system's for everyone.
Yep. Journey system goes out for everyone.
Yeah. For free. It's just whatever. It's just part of the base game now.
Obrigado, Serena. Valeu, obrigado.
Kind of on that note, of course, with Chapter 3, we'll come with
Valeu.
new story steps, new battle pass items, new bizarre items.
Sistema de jornada.
We can show some of those lovely things off. But first,
Ninguém quer fazer a jornada. Epa, eu e a Serena fazemos, né, Serena?
with the update. So,
Mas a maioria acho que não faz, não.
Chapter 3 is focused around
É.
the
Estamos fazendo.
culmination of Mechamoses' work.
Opa!
Working to sniff out the secrets and delve into just what's
Everton
going
mandou
on with this.
R$5.
Just what's going on.
Valeu, Everton.
Lands,
Como será que
where
vem
the source
coisa
is coming
boa?
from, where the source
Tá
of its power is coming
aparecendo
from.
só vinda da loja.
And I think we will have some of
Isso que preocupa, né, Everton? Obrigado pelo seu donate.
And we're not going to show
Tamo
everything
junto, amigão.
today, obviously, too. You'll just have to see for yourself.
We're going to certainly show
Tomara que não seja só isso,
some
né?
stuff off for sure.
Atualização.
So first, do you want to show off? You want to take a look over, visit our good friend Mechamoses and
Recompensas por cada parte da jornada. Olha, interessante, hein?
Absolutely. Yeah. Would you like to hide while I switch maps?
I would love to.
Eu tô berrando aqui porque, Serena do céu. Berrando?
Christy, I'm sorry.
Reclamo todos os PVPs.
Hey,
PVPs.
listen. Okay, I will say,
One of you.
I just got, I finally have been, I've been shown the light of spinner rings, like fidget rings. Because some of you who know me or may have seen me on camera know that I have a tendency to like pick at my mustache or play with it when I'm like deep in thought, you know? So I got one of these things and now I can kind of,
Oh,
I can play with my fingers and stim without having to play with my mustache and mess my face
De
up.
alegria? Deve ser de alegria, né?
What we're doing right now, we're loading up into the exiled lands and heading over to Mechamoses.
No chat deles, o PVP continua reclamando.
Some enhancements, some changes to its appearance. Oh, nice. I'm gonna switch back over here.
All right.
And welcome.
Welcome to the Spire. So there's going to be some stuff coming in this update that will change the way some things are presented. One of the first things you'll see is there's this really big beam in the sky. We have removed some other beams from the game that you might see as, decorative skylights of sorts, to make it so that when we have events like this, it really stands out that there's something happening that draws your attention.
It's like, hey, come over here. There's something interesting here.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see this from really far back, even in the starting desert. You'll see it on the horizon, and it's kind of ushering you forward to find how and where the story is unfolding. For anyone who hasn't seen Mechamoses' Spire before, usually looks much different than this. You can see there's a lot of defenses. A lot of the Catan exiles are here. One of the first things you might notice is that this guy's dressed up. So we wanted to have these guys in uniform from the beginning. We had a technical hurdle that prevented us from putting Battle Pass and Bazaar items on NPCs, essentially. So we're over that now. And if we continue up to the top of the spire, you'll find our new buddy, Mechamoses, is decked
Got some
out.
new digs.
And he's also
Eita.
found a new friend that he has tied up to his lovely altar, which is what the giant beam is coming from. So you guys will also be able to explore some new dialogue with Metcamosis. I don't think there's any reason we really need to hop into his dialogue right now. We can just save it as a surprise.
Alguém liberta a moça, por favor.
But Metcamosis will pretty much tell you that there's these fancy new rocks that you can go find. And if you bring them back to him, similar to headhunting in Chapter 2, you'll get a nice reward for doing that. He'll also ask for something else. And
Tá, joia. Obrigado, Frick.
diamonds, we'll go back to the red stones themselves.
Não sei se vai me ouvir, mas...
So the red stones are called blood crystals. And blood crystals are essentially a hardened... It is the blood of the giant kings that soaked into the ground, hardened, and resurfaced. The giant kings are extremely powerful sorcerers, and their blood has essentially returned to the surface and animates things that it touches.
Não, moça mais bonita.
So now,
Nada de
that might give
moço.
some more context to understand why.
Moço
there's
você
a
coloca lá.
system running, which some of you may have seen.
Aqui na live né, tem que ser
Armor, or in
moço.
some of the updates we put out this morning. But you'll be able to go out, harvest the blood crystals, and we'll talk a bit about that as well. Bring them back to Metcamosis with his sick mask, and
100%.
rewards, and participate in another little.
Nem fale isso. Deus livre que ela faz mesmo. Acaba colocando.
Blood crystals. How do I get them?
How do you get blood crystals? How do you harvest the blood of the giant?
E aí, Mutante Boss, obrigado pela presença. Seja muito bem-vindo aí, amigão.
To find
Lá vem mais bugs. Será?
using the spell to detect resources.
Vulcano chegou aqui, boa tarde, amigão. Obrigado pela presença. Galera, quem puder aí...
Underneath the ground, you'll see red
Quem...
resources.
Nada engraçado, Serena. Quem puder... É muito sério.
But I will show you.
Quem puder divulgar pra mim, eu não tô conseguindo compartilhar. Quem puder colocar no Discord e no WhatsApp aí dos grupos,
Oh, my bad.
ajuda bastante aí. Vulcano, se puder, Serena, Frick, Douglas. Quem puder divulgar pra mim a live, eu não consegui divulgar.
So whenever you use detect resources to find the blood crystal, you're not just finding the resource embedded in the ground, you're also finding
Whatever it's attached to.
what it's
Whatever.
animating, right?
Whatever it's grown into, yeah.
So we'll go here, spawn some stuff. And the first version is
Eita.
a lovely friend you guys will surely recognize in the rock nose. You can see the blood.
Vai summonar bicho de pedra, é isso? E ser feliz?
On him. And after you kill him, you can harvest his corpse to get the blood crystals.
Oh no, encumbrance.
Encumbered again.
all this golem equipment is very heavy.
Yeah. We got some.
Põe no criativo, meu filho. Põe no criativo aí.
So the rock nose was the second one we made, and the first one we made, we wanted it to be a bigger challenge, and we realized we had to offer that earlier in the game. So the rock nose was a bit of a fallback. Actually, sorry, that's the wrong one. I want this one.
Oh, really quick. Also, is it possible to tame the blood rock noses and make them your pets?
I don't think we put a recipe on for that.
Okay.
No. So what you'll normally be finding in higher level areas is a straight up animated earth
Ah, o cristal de sangue. Olha!
crystal in his heart,
Que isso, gente?
or like heart in his chest there. And it's the same deal as the rock nose. Whenever you kill him, you get to harvest his resources and bring it back for a reward, or keep it for yourself. So
You can't have this specific
Knock him
enemy
out.
as a pet. But someone did ask, yeah.
É pedra de sangue, né?
Keep a golem as a pet. Not that one, but
But wait, there's more.
there's more.
Yeah, so I'll come up here to back up to Metcamosis Spire. So, he wants the blood crystal because he's trying to perform a certain ritual. He's got his princess tied up here. One of the really fun things we did with her is she's also voice acted, so you'll hear her randomly screaming obscenities at Metcamosis, you know, cursing him. And
Yeah, she's pretty mad about being
not happy to be tied up.
Nope.
See, if you read that subtitle there, you know, you can see about how happy she is. And there's another person at Metcamosis camp, and he has a little bit more information about the golems themselves. So this is another Catan exile who has started using that blood crystal that's used to make his altar. And, you know, he is essentially obsessed with...
Obrigado, Serena. Divulgar apareceu aqui para mim. Obrigado. Show de bola.
Really, amazing. He will also be able to teach you how to make your own golems. So there's different power levels of golems, and we'll get into that further. And the player will be capable of making pretty crude ones. And when you go out on an adventure into the world, doing things like dungeons and killing bosses, you'll start to find higher level parts that you can't craft.
Obrigado, Samuel. Obrigado e tamo junto, amigão. Obrigado, Vulcano.
This guy also has a whole set of voice acting to go along with him, and you know, he'll tell you more about his place in the world and what he's interested in. And then just before we leave Metcamosis camp, I'll give another...
Vai haver novos pets parecidos. Ah, tá.
Part of what you'll find in his dialogue tells you that he wants to perform a ritual.
E aí, Luiz, obrigado pela presença. Seja muito bem-vindo aí à nossa livezinha, amigão.
Metcamosis wants you to go to the site of the other ritual, which he's found.
Obrigado, Serena. Obrigado mais uma vez por compartilhar.
The
Tamo
transportory
junto.
stone and stop the ritual from happening. So those of you following along with the story might have an idea of who's performing the ritual. You might be familiar with the location you're taken to if you've, again, been following along with the story. It is a new area.
Sumiu?
There is
Fiz besteira, hein?
new content and an encounter to discover there. I think everyone's going to be really surprised and excited to see it.
It's really cool.
Acho que não sumiu, né? Achei que tinha sumido aqui.
It's a pretty big deal, and we've decided that we don't want to spoil it, so we're not going to show it now. I'm not even going to say anything more about it. Once you guys get on like, if you get on the public beta server, or you just wait for it to release, everything will become a lot more clear. I'm super excited about it. But here you can see we're able to put the blood crystal in this portal to fire up you know, a portal that lets you go to that location and check out something awesome. There will be a thing there for you to bring back to Metcamosis as well. That'll get you some more rewards again. Similar to the bounty hunting event, how we had, like, you know, you could knock out, you could kill guys and get their skull and get a little reward, or you could knock them out and bring them back and get a bigger reward. We've got a similar scheme going on here where you can go out, find the crystals, bring them back for a small one, or you can go get this other thing, bring it back for a huge one.
There'll be new vendors here. Once
yeah.
There'll be new vendors here, I believe, at the camp too, right? Like, kind of similar to what we had with the headhunting event from last chapter.
Yeah, I think they're set up down here already. But
and then these folks take ancient oboli too, right?
Excuse me. Yeah, that's right. So it'll be the same thing. It's actually, I believe it's even using the same tables.
Alguém sabe onde que é a localização disso aí? Onde vai acontecer isso? Coloca aí nos comentários se sabe a localização.
And the things that you can purchase
Exato. Não sei se é exata, né? Eu não estava com a tela aberta desde o começo.
Keep doing the activities.
Hunt them sorcerers.
Yeah, have some fun collecting stuff and bringing it back. That's kind of the name of the game, is having fun collecting stuff, I think.
So, will the headhunting event and like the activity itself persist even after, like, you know, once chapter 3 concludes? Like, what does that spell for, like, the Catan folks and the headhunters and all that?
Headhunting and even this event right now are technically temporary, but we're going to be bringing them back later as part of the normal encounter rotation that occurs. It just won't be on as large of a scale.
Gotcha.
So you might see one of them. Headhunting might not be a great example. I think that we might not see the headhunting caravans come back because they're kind of persistent. We'll have to see exactly how we decide to handle that. We might move it into a smaller area, but for the time being, the headhunting caravans will be gone. That activity will be gone, and it'll be replaced with this one. We always want to kind of have something new and fresh for you to do, but I also don't want to get rid of things that people like to do. So in some capacity, we may see it return as a temporary event, or it may come back as a just a random encounter. I think more likely what you'll see is we'll turn it on for a week or two at a time, and you know, we'll just pick and choose to mix things up to keep everything fresh for people.
You allowed to say where you currently are on the map, or you want to leave that?
Oh yeah, I'm at Metcamosa Spire. You guys might recognize it from the past, where it was previously just this statue, this like you know, Acronian.
O Luiz está falando que estão a aproveitar coisas que já estão no AOC. Deve ser o mod, né?
And there was Metcamosa standing right here, and he would teach you the set religion and a couple emotes. And now Metcamosa's, you know, he's moved a little bit, but he's right nearby still.
Perto do altar de Sete, Sereno. De Sete?
Yeah, he still has all of that stuff.
Beleza, onde aprende a religião.
His dialogue changed from what it used to.
Eu também achei que era, mas não tinha certeza.
The other interesting thing on the horizon.
Which other interesting thing? The thing that's literally on the horizon? That we're looking at right now?
I use my words really.
Teletransporte dos mapas? Não tô sabendo, Everton. Será que saiu alguma coisa ali?
Sangha and Banga.
As part of this event and as part of the storytelling that's happening.
Tá bom, Serena, obrigado.
Sorry, move that chat.
Também não tenho
For a
certeza
short
que...
time, while this event's active, you know, for the 3-month period or so, there will no longer be nighttime in the exiled lands. Instead, it will be replaced with what you're seeing on screen right now. This is a key component in the ritual itself, and it's kind of a, you know, a celestial alignment where the moon eclipses the sun, and during that time, instead of having full-on pitch black, you'll have this kind of red-tinged eclipse that hovers overhead and then goes away. And, you know, when you're taken to a new place through the transportory stone to experience, you know, a new part of gameplay, that will be a part of that as well. So night times will be a little bit brighter. You know, you won't have the full on.
Eduardo Salazar, obrigado pela presença. Seja bem-vindo. Jurava que um dia esse lugar ia ter DG, né? Beleza. Obrigado pela sua participação, Eduardo.
A view of the horizon a bit more, so
José Boy chegou aqui, obrigado pela presença. Bem-vindo. Boa tarde aí. Como é que você tá? Tranquilo?
Blue near the ground. All right.
Não tem legenda, amigo.
Golem City, as I have dubbed it. Andy set up some stuff for us.
7G, o Luiz tá falando. Obrigado, Luiz.
Talk more about golems.
Golem time, golem time, golem time.
And more. So everything we have set up here, there's a bit of DLC stuff in here. Let me change the time of day so you guys can actually see as well.
Eles vão colocar depois a legenda, Josinaldo. Infelizmente, na hora, acho que eles não conseguem, né? Não sei se conseguem.
So I guess this is for more of a modding specific question, but is the new area that we're having, that we're sending?
É que daí tem que fazer legenda para tudo que é país, né?
Do you know geographically where it is, like on the map, even if it's like in an inaccessible area, like if it's in like the northeast area?
It's in it.
Cássio chegou aqui, obrigado pela presença. Boa tarde, amigão.
I don't know where its
Seja muito
specific
bem-vindo.
location is. It is currently dynamically loaded for the encounter itself. It uses the encounter system. It's just on always. That's about all I can say without really giving any more kind of spoilers. So
I guess a better question would be to ask.
It exists in a place in the world.
Do you foresee its existence perhaps interfering with like modders' ability to like edit maps and stuff like that? I mean, obviously, they'll have to like be wary of it or like mindful of it, but like
if you have events, the Boolean for events like the encounter toggle disabled on the server, it shouldn't be even loaded.
Okay.
So if you're playing on like Age of Calamitous server or something and you don't have the Funcom events enabled, it shouldn't interfere at all. That's part of it, you know, being dynamically loaded. If you are running, you know, something more base game or base game friendly that has the Funcom events turned on, depending on what you've made, it may or may not be in your way. You'll just have to see when the time comes around.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Amag88. I hope that helps answer the question. But yeah,
sorry we can't be more specific.
Yeah.
I just don't want to ruin it for people.
What's up?
Quick question. People are asking like, what have we shown so far will be available on both maps or just Excel lands or like?
Oh yeah. So I mean, obviously Metcamosis doesn't exist on the Isle of Sipta. So the journey system that we showed, what we're about to show with golems will be available on SIPTA, but the narrative-oriented things that are like Mechamosis Spire, the new bit of content that you'll run into, those are only going to be on Exiled Lands, and everything else will be everywhere. So golem parts, crafting and discovering golems, all of the building stations and everything that we show, that'll be on both maps, just the narrative is separate. Okay, ready to go into golems themselves?
Yeah.
This is a really big topic. Golems are a new follower type. We haven't released their trailer yet, so you guys aren't sure what they do. So I guess this is my opportunity to let it loose. Do we have any golems? Actually, yeah, these are on stands. Okay.
Fica junto do pináculo de Mac. Sim, sim.
Just on display.
Yeah, so
É isso aí.
I guess I'll start in the inventory because we have a couple parts in there. Golems are going to be a follower that you can craft, and they have 2 arms, 2 legs, a torso, and a head. And you can make different pieces to create a different follower at the end of the day. Each of those different pieces also have different attributes that you'll see the side effects of whenever you go into the actual golem crafting station. So this is a bench that you'll make the parts on, and you can see the recipes for the things that you can actually create.
Nova bancada, é isso?
Once you create those pieces, you can bring them over to the assembly station, and it'll, kind of splat them down here, put the pieces in context so you can see them in the world. And once you put all the pieces on, you'll have access to a ritual that lets you actually animate that guardian. So here you can see I've put a chest on the ritual station, so it tells me how much health it will have, what kind of armor, and how much inventory space it will have. And inventory space is going to be pretty important for golems because the guardian golem can harvest resources for you while you're in the world.
There was a specific question. Someone on YouTube asked specifically that, like, "Oh, you're gonna let your golems harvest some resources? You ever think about that?" We did, in fact, think about that.
Yeah. So.
Tá me lembrando outros jogos já, essas armaduras, hein?
What attributes.
Tá me lembrando outros jogos.
And what he can do. This one has an axe in its hands,
Construção redonda vai custar quanto?
Different tools that you put in their hands will have different
Caro, muito caro.
capabilities.
Não é pro Brasil.
This guy, if he's following me and I have like a stick or
Novos seguidores.
in my inventory,
Diz o
he'll harvest
Flick.
trees or gather sticks.
Fala muito e mostra pouco.
Relevant pieces you can actually put in, and it'll tell you.
Vão
like, if I
quebrar
try to
ainda
put one
mais
in
o
this one,
game.
sorry, I think I have to move it here first, but it'll tell me that he's not
complicado.
Rock and stone.
Yeah, so it'll tell me when I can't harvest something, and if I can move it there, it'll go into that inventory, and then they'll just go to passively pick up those kind of resources. So because he's looking for sticks, he knows.
Olha aí. O que se queria? Não era isso que se queria? Qual?
You'll start to fill up with the things he's harvesting.
Hein?
So there will be more detail and more context on exactly what kind of stuff.
Esses dias eu falei pra Sereno que eu queria que o lacaio
Just ask automatically is can they harvest
farmasse pra mim.
metal? The meteorite has to be cracked before they'll harvest it, but they will harvest it once it's actually been opened.
Manipulação genética. Eita, o Flick tá falando aqui.
Materials that you can put in there and
Partes são separadas e nós montamos como queremos. Cara,
stuff on the back burner as well.
que virou o Conan,
I'm
hein?
not sure exactly
Minha
when we'll
mãe
get
do
to it,
céu.
but there is probably more than this coming with golems in the future, and there's even more to talk about with it now as well.
Cool.
So this guy right here is what we call a tier 1 golem. So
Começo de março, acredito, amigo Josiboy. Josinaldo, começo de março,
You can
acredito.
see he has the cool heart embedded in his
Atualização.
chest. That's the bloodstone that you would have harvested.
He's thirsty for trees.
Yeah, he wants them sticks, boy. So you can see him pick the stick up.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yep.
Are golems permanent, or are they also just with CHAVE?
The golems will be here forever. They're here to stay.
Yeah, that's a base,
so
it'll be a base feature with the
That's
game.
awesome.
Yeah.
You'll always be a way to find them,
O farm da feitiçaria não deu certo, né? Então,
to create them, and do the activities required to allow them to harvest.
The golems are not dateable as a game mechanic, However,
Fanfics are welcome.
I know, yeah.
Frankenstein? É isso? É Frankenstein, Freak?
Your golems, that's, you know, that's on you. We're not gonna yuck your yum.
I'm gonna get this guy to stop following me and check out some other golems as well. So this is what we would call a tier 2 golem. He's made out of iron, and you can see he's got a ton of health. And that kind of brings me to one of the next things about golems is they cannot be healed like other followers. Once you make them, you know, they're made
Mais trem pra mim se preocupar no game.
that will erode and decay over time. They won't really passively decay, but when you take them into combat and they take damage.
Isso dos lacais fazendo craft já tem mod que faz isso. Eu sabia mesmo, Luiz, que tem mod.
Power is kind of static. They're just going to be what you see is what you get on that menu. But they've got another mechanic baked in that's kind of cool. So he does have a lot of health, and you know, you'll see various armor values depending on what you put on. But they also have a passive deflection mechanic. That's like we borrowed from when a player gets a rebound off of a shield. So if you hit a golem, there's a chance that the shield, you know, they'll do a shield rebound. That target will get kicked back, and then the golem will have like a window of opportunity to exploit that as well. So their defense isn't just their health and their armor. They also have that deflection. And the types of parts you use, and additionally, there will be another thing I'll talk about that'll improve that further, but there are ways to make them deflect more as well.
A couple questions came up in chat. Do golems have to be on follow mode in order to autonomously harvest, or can you just like set them and just like let them go on their own?
At the moment, they do have to be on follow. One of the things that we didn't get to finish, but is almost done, is a way for them to harvest autonomously, where you can kind of leave them in a place and let them just do their own thing. But that hasn't been fully QA tested. We don't have a timeline for when that will be released, but I know that in the long run, it's a thing we want to do. Because eventually you will likely see some or all of this behavior coming to normal thralls too. I know that's another thing people will want to see is if golems can do it, why can't people? And for the time
Os Rinaldos são uns massa bruta. Já tô me decepcionando. Calma, Serena. Calma.
And then the other question that I
saw, cedo, vamos ver até o final. Até agora não mostraram nada de novo. Já se tem praticamente tudo.
Yeah, they're normal followers, so they will count.
And so they get boosted by like the authority attribute as well?
They will get boosted by authority, but like I said before, they can't be healed. I believe, if I remember right, the things that would heal them otherwise boost their deflection.
Esses monstros são permanentes, diz aqui o Freak, né? Ao contrário dos monstros criados na roda do poder. O Josinaldo diz que o game tá ótimo.
When golems are destroyed, can you like salvage some of their parts or anything?
Será que vai poder ter 3 seguidores agora? Daqui a pouco nós vamos andar com 50 seguidores, Josinaldo.
But yeah,
Diego chegou aqui, obrigado pela presença.
Around a lot of things that pull from one of our design pillars is that nothing is forever.
Tem 4.000 de vida.
Even when the golem itself dies, we don't want you to just be able to take those parts back and put it back. We want you
Nada
to
dos lacais,
go through that process of making them again. Just because it gets you out on more adventures, right? That's the primary thing. We want you to be exploring out in the world, going out to do the activities that make you feel empowered and give you, you know, that temporary boost in power until you lose something and you have to go back and get it again.
Yes, question from chat.
I was asking, can you use like an illusionist bench to like make it so like, oh, I want to keep the stone appearance, but I want better quality art?
No, we just offer different parts as kind of reskins, essentially. So one
exército, né?
But we have a version of the Iron Golem. Oh, sorry, it's actually in the shop. We have a version of the Iron Golem that is patinaed, and it has like
Duvido que venha
kind of copper patina.
Duvido Vulcano que venha no passe de batalha.
Here, but it's the same item.
Muito difícil.
But with a different skin.
Appearance. Yeah, I think there is a battle. I believe one of the I want to say the capstone reward for the battle pass is also like a.
We'll check it out and go through the rewards.
Se morre, só recupera o inventário. Beleza.
We make alternate versions of the parts, not using our reskin system for them.
And for what it's worth, also, you can mix and match the various like part quality. So you can put like a crystalline leg on like a stone torso with like an iron head or something like that. And you can actually see here on the stand that we have set up, like we have a couple different special parts to further customize your golems. Some people noted in chat the conspicuous head that this golem on the stand has. Some people referencing Dynamite Heady, which was one of my old favorites. I love that game. So shout outs to those of you who called that out.
Conan tá virando Follow, né? É Follow, aquele jogo dos robôs.
They don't have to be one-to-one recreation. So we've got some really cool parts that you can interchange with what would just be a normal head. And
Quando eles andar, eu quero que eles façam um barulhão, assim, pisando no chão. Bum, bum. Eu não vou querer.
another thing that might not be obvious at first is on this one, it not only has a jar for head, but its torso.
Olha isso.
And it's an
Que
insect.
virou o Conan, minha
One
mãe.
of the things you can do with this golem is put different flowers in it, or if you take it a step further, you can put the powder of those flowers in it for a greater
Eu
effect.
vou comprar o Follow hoje, já vou treinando pro Conan quando chegar a atualização.
So different flowers will do things like increase deflection, add a health regeneration around the golem. There's like strength weapon damage increase around it. I can't remember exactly how many effects there
Diego
are.
tá ficando igual a Barbie,
There's like two different qualities of various effects, and then there's like
There's like
só
5 or
efeito
6
até
different
agora.
effects. Yeah, and then a second tier for each
Yeah,
of them.
yeah,
A versão do jogo é a
They're
versão
all Lotus
do
driven,
do
and you
passe-
can take the
do
Lotus and grind it and
passe
get
de
a more
batalha?
potent version of it. Keeping in
E essa bancada aí, qual? Pois é,
with
você
the
viu?
lore, essentially, that, you
Vai
know,
ter novas
whenever you
bancadas
use
aí com
alchemy
novos
to grind these
esquemas.
things down, they become a more powerful version.
so yeah, when
É
you're
ralo, isso, não é falo.
you can go and
Acho que é isso,
get
né?
some sweet buffs while you're fighting alongside them.
And then another thing here is the automaton stand is another cool thing.
Preparar o game.
I can't remember if the
Só
I think the stand is
PS5.
in monetization
E PC,
as well.
verdade.
It's maybe
Tem isso,
the
né?
Battle Pass, but don't quote me on that.
Pra rodar.
But it's essentially kind of just a little station that lets you display the automaton that you've created. You don't fully have to do the ritual. You just put the parts in, and you can see.
Yeah, it's just the display stand. Like, yeah, it's completely inert and can't do anything, but it's just there to like show off as like a decoration.
And this is a good way to show too how you can put different pieces in
I
that
was
do
gonna
different
ask,
things.
yeah, like, did you want to give away like everything that you could use, or because people are like, oh, flesh golems, or like, oh, I want swords for arms, and like,
There's a few different types of weapon arms you can put on, and a few different.
Nada a ver. Cadê a feitiçaria, gente? Isso aí é feitiçaria?
Maybe one or two types of torsos, like the one that Dennis just put on with the purple
Ai,
eyes
meu
act as like a
Deus.
light source for dark areas as well. That's its own like special kind of head.
Yeah, I can do this and just have a little
Deception.
all the different parts. So some of these you can't craft, and some of them you can. The crystalline ones, for example, and that's the guy on the far right on the left side of my screen. They'll only come from
PS4
rocks
vai
in
ser
the world.
difícil, diz aqui o Josinaldo.
The sculptor and
Douglas Souza, obrigado pela presença, seja muito bem-vindo. Que dia vem essas paradas aí? Por enquanto eles não falaram, né? Pelo menos eu não escutei, não vi falar.
I believe it's at the cost.
Mas é começo de março, geralmente. Começo do mês que vem, né?
And in addition to that, we also have coded parts.
PS5 é o futuro, né? Pois é.
Something like, there's one here, Crystalline Guardian Tar Head.
Verdade, né, Sereno? Também acho que eles estão viajando pra caramba.
I should put it on the bench actually, just so you can see here. It'll
Caraca, que viagem isso aqui, hein?
combat creates
Que viagem!
So now, if you apply a fire effect to those, you have traveling fire essentially. I think I want to say there's 2 types of coding, but there might be 3.
Meu Deus.
Andy, if you want to
Daí
look
já tem o PS6, Vulcano.
the exact number.
Daí já vai ter o PS6
Sorry, what are we looking for? I was
daqui 3 anos.
Codings.
types of coatings. Okay, yeah, one sec.
Beleza?
he does this friendship withdrawals.
Diego, quando virou a casa da Macumba.
Comment about Exodia. So it looks like according to this, there's 2 types of coatings, and then
Pra mim virou o Halo, aquele jogo lá
one
dos robozão.
but
Okay, yeah.
haven't been implemented.
Yeah, so we have 2 codings now, and then we may wind up adding more later. As with like a lot of
Serena, você
stuff,
tem que entender, Serena, que se a ODG não dá dinheiro, eles vão falar depois se der tempo. Eles vão mostrar coisa que vai dar grana pra eles aí.
parts of the game that people like, but maybe hasn't had any new content in a while. We can come
Não,
back
tô brincando, sei lá, né?
and we have
Daqui a pouco mostra, de
these
certo.
things in the backlog that we can just reach into anytime and add new systems and new dynamics to the game.
There's a couple people in chat asking if there's an animation when you start a golem. If you want to slam some,
I do want to slam
some of those legs and arms into
Ah, já entendi já essa parte do robô aí. Vamos pro próximo.
Yeah.
Vocês têm alguma dúvida do robô aí?
This one has the scythe arm.
Ou
You always have to have an empty
Android
arm
ou
left, but the right one determines what kind of tool they use.
Frankenstein?
And you can see here when I put the scythe arm in, it can harvest foliage. I put the chest in, that's the incense burner, so it has the lotus burner attribute that lets you burn flowers, and it has the explosive jar head, which means it detonates on death. So we'll now do the ritual, and just like any other ritual, he'll come around to a specific spot.
Taking the long way around.
Yeah, it's a defined point, so he'll do his ritual and then animate the
Vê, bicho? Parece que tá invocando
Live.
avatar, né?
I give you animate life.
the bench will, lift it up and let it come to life.
Meu Deus do céu.
Then you have your new follower.
There should be like a lightning strike or something.
Yeah. It lives. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Put Andy's voice in the game, please. Thanks, Birdkex.
Okay, so now we've got this guy. If we inspect him, we can see all that same stuff. We can see his health, his armor, how much inventory he has. And now it's obvious that the inventory size
Hello,
is because of
Conan.
how much stuff they can carry when they're harvesting. They run out of inventory space. They can't harvest anymore. And his explosive jar head. Let's go ahead and just drop some golden lotus in there to begin with.
Oh yeah.
And then he should start, burning some flowers here since he is following me. Oh, do I have to actually enable it as well?
E eu esperando negócio sobrenatural. Eu também.
I can double check.
Nada, né? Diego, difícil foi aqui em casa deu raio. Queimou tudo, até meu PS5. Caraca!
I don't know what you saw.
Meus...
What I saw. Sorry.
Sinto muito aí pelas suas perdas, amigão. Caraca.
Will not take ballroom dancing lessons with you. That sounds like a great mod, though.
Uma cabeça que explode não é sobrenatural que chegue.
I'll mark this as part of the work in progress status of this, but
Não.
in the end, whenever it ships, it will have.
Só que não, né, Serena? Só que não.
Well, I think it's burning it, but you can't see it right now.
Okay, gotcha. There's no VFX
Are
on.
you in creative mode? Because then that'll show up.
I am in creative.
Frick, já deu, Frick, esse negócio sobrenatural dele, feitiçaria, não rendeu.
So yeah, you can see the passive
Não
effect
rendeu.
happening there. And then I think we said there's 5 of those.
E agora estão apelando com isso aí.
Essentially. Yeah,
So
there we go.
see what flowers do you want?
That should be a little more impressive in the end, I believe. And then with this guy, like it said, he's got the explosive jar head.
Eu posso entrar dentro do robô e andar com ele?
And even though I killed him manually, you can see the jar burning and rolling on the ground.
Nossa, mãe do céu.
Nice.
So I think that's largely golems. I don't know if there's
Massa, né?
on them at the
Massa.
point. It does have a lot of stuff to begin with. This is the super high powered golem. You can see he has insane
Vamos
health.
pro próximo robô.
And he's set up to harvest rocks as it is.
Oh, that is a lot of health. Jeez.
Yeah, but like I said, he can't be healed.
Right. Yeah.
So it's
O primeiro era de farm, o segundo é explosivo, é isso?
can be.
Vamos pro
He
próximo.
also has that deflection mechanic on top as well.
People are very excited about those rounded floors, by the way.
Oh,
I mean,
you saw that, did
don't
you?
worry. Yeah. We're getting
Daqui a pouco
Rounded things that anyone
Harry
sees.
Potter vai passar voando na live.
So I guess we're probably ready to move
Mais ou
on
menos.
from golems now, right?
I think so.
Jailton, obrigado pela presença. Richter, seja muito bem-vindo.
What about the gold's inventory when they're full? Like, what do they do?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they behave normally. They'll follow you and perform in combat. They just won't be able to actually carry any more stuff. I believe that harvesting will be totally
A
blocked
minha dúvida é se podemos enfrentar e chamar os Power Rangers.
for you.
Power Rangers. Dá pra chamar.
And for the record, I'm taking a lot of
É a
questions.
próxima atualização aí, Jailton. Power Rangers.
We'll likely have
Você vai se transformar.
for other things.
Vai ter uma pedrinha do poder, você vai... É hora de morfar.
She said she's taking questions on other things as well, but she's only asking the ones.
Conan Rangers.
And I'm taking a look at chat as well, so we're keeping track with what we can. And don't worry, we saw plenty of comments about like, oh, what are these rounded foundations? What are these round things?
Aí eu vou montar um clã. Eu quero ser o azul.
Huh? Can we? What say you?
I say yes.
Oh! In the time it took to ask that question, we
Que
implemented.
isso, gente do céu?
I just actually
Meu
I went
pai.
in and I checked the checkbox that
So
says
the button, right, you
armor
press the
stance.
button. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pra pôr a armadura?
This job is really easy, so
Oh yeah. We just press buttons and like things just come to life. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boneco pra armadura? E já tem mod, né?
Everybody's very excited. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
"Finally!"
We're still taking care of some stuff on the armor displays as well. Like you'll see this one on the female. There's a bit of an issue with the texture
There's
up on the chest there. And
yeah.
obviously they have checkerboard
Cabeça de jarro?
Loincloth.
loincloth
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that won't be there in the end. But we didn't want to not show this because it's so exciting.
Ah, sim, desse que tem o jarro. Beleza.
Do you have
In the
any-
other
any
tent, I
other
had one
tent?
dressed
Yeah.
up.
Vermelho? Beleza, Samuel. Bora montar esse grupo aí. Fanáticos Power Rangers.
You just dump whatever armor pieces onto your. Sorry, I don't have anything of those things.
Sure you do.
There. Oh yes. I have other things you can throw
These
on there.
random things on here.
Não é o que você queria, Sereno? Ter um manequim? Olha aí que
Here's a
lindo.
female version. Currently, they do not accept dyes or illusions, but because I think we're going to
Pra
be
colocar qualquer roupinha pra ficar disponível.
mannequin probably in the future going forward. We want to accommodate that, so I think that you'll see a version in the future that accepts the dyes and illusions as well. We have a plan for it already. We just didn't have time to do it right now.
Or like with different poses or something.
Right. Yep. So, yeah.
So we
Dismantle it. Move it.
an off request feature we know, and so that
Olha aí, ó, que
And
beleza.
I believe that this. Should I open the battle pass now?
you can.
Beautiful.
And,
Opa!
and then I did see someone in the YouTube chat also astutely noticed that was the Age of Conan Necromancer armor.
Ó, esse tá no
Yeah.
passe de batalha,
we've been
gente.
doing just because we think
Terceiro nível, você já pega o boneco.
getting some of the armors back from AOC.
Pra
You've
colocar
seen a lot
tuas
of them in
roupinhas.
game already, probably, if you're familiar with the game, you know, like the assassin.
Olha que show.
barbarian armor.
Cadê as moedas? Não tô vendo as moedas, hein?
So we made that necromancer set as well, and we'll take a closer look at it in a minute. I mentioned him a lot on the stream, but,
spoilers.
Vebjorn, one of our artists, put a lot of time into making that necromancer armor because in AOC it doesn't have a lot of really high detail, and we have to recreate it to put it in Exiles. So the 2D detail on it is very high, and it shows a lot.
Não vai trocar o teu do mod?
And he had to go through and actually
isso, Sereno?
topology and
Eles
jump
que
with
lutem.
all of those little tiny pieces.
Mas vem no passe, a não ser que você não pegue o
Shout
passe.
out to Vebjorn.
Oh, and the big no spoilers thing, by the way.
Bom, você pode não colocar no chão também, né?
Complete the battle pass. It like gives you like little like lore bits.
Yeah.
We don't want to have those bits on stream because we want you to see those for yourselves. So it's going to be covered
Yeah,
up.
for the sake of the stream, we have the whole battle pass unlocked, and we just don't want the text to be visible for now.
No, we're not showing you our bits. Please.
Actually, the most important story points are not text, but they are hidden behind the no story spoilers block.
Nice. Great. Excellent.
Nice.
The mannequin here, I was just gonna
Muito
point out,
nice.
It is a battle pass reward, and it's a free reward, so anyone can claim this, whether you pay to unlock the battle pass or not. Everyone will be able to play and get the mannequin. And you might think, also,
moedas estão ali.
what does that mean for the future?
Ah, é a moeda ali.
Battle Pass? We will have other
Eu olhei o negocinho verde e achei que era outra coisa. As moedas estão ali, tá certo.
in the shop.
Agora que eu vi que tá escrito 120.
Wind up having the base game version as
Foi
well.
mal.
And
Tô cego de vez.
potentially more battle pass
Eles
versions.
ainda não puseram esta atualização no teste. Ah, é?
It is free for everybody. You don't even have to,
Ah, não, no teste live.
You don't have to get the battle pass.
Vou esperar para
Armor mannequins. Yeah.
comentar, beleza.
And we can skim through some other stuff while we're here if you want to.
Sure. I mean, yeah, we can go over maybe like the first 3 pages
I
for folks.
I love showing off like all of the backgrounds and everything too because the work that goes into them is so amazing, and it'll give people something to speculate about what the story is that's happening. If you're fine with that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. And in fact, maybe some eagle-eyed viewers might notice a reference to previous
Indeed.
illustrations we've had. So.
And you'll also see, giving that disclaimer again, there may be some stuff that's doesn't have final icons or art in the battle pass as we go through it. Just know that as we go forward. So we.
Ó, aqui também tem moedinha, ó.
Sorcery themed
Então
items.
vai dar pra você comprar de novo o passe sem gastar, espero eu.
To the theme of the age versus how much stuff is kind of a
Se você já comprou o passe passado, né, claro.
from just having all sorcery stuff all the time.
Camelo.
So there's a neat shield. That's based on that altar that Mechcamosis has, where you can see that,
Esse camelo vai fumegar?
Chat's going nuts for the camel.
I know.
Camel?
Yeah.
Hello?
So there's the camel. The camel right now is literally just a pack animal. You can't ride on this version.
Not a
of it.
mount.
Jailton tá dizendo que maneiro que o manequim não é free. Que fique tudo no baú.
Everyone's gonna want to be able to ride it eventually.
Oh. Yeah, the text here is different from what you actually get. What you're actually going to get is
Gente, que bicho é esse?
that's shown here, not any kind of backflip or anything like that.
Yeah, there are some things that we have to replace, kind of last minute if we can make things work or not. So
Yeah, things got shuffled around.
maybe a spoiler for the future, but that's okay. So,
Será que tá melhor o passe, galera? Já estão achando melhor?
for like the Golem Craft bench,
Que o último foi horrível, né? O penúltimo.
clap emote. Oh yeah, we have
Último,
the
sei
previews
lá.
for these now too. So
Ó, palminhas diferentes, Serena. Olha aí.
emotes. Didn't miss any other emotes earlier.
Palminhas novas, Serena.
We'll show those. And there's a cool Tyranian armor set.
Yeah, you notice a lot of the
Ai, meu
stuff
Deus.
also, and some of the
Socorro.
things that you'll see in the bazaar as well are Turanian themed, and we'll go.
Cadê o choro, né, Serena? Tem que pôr choro.
Some folks in chat have pointed out the curved items.
People really want to punch the camel.
You can punch the camel.
Well, maybe we can make that in the future.
É free sim.
There's the Necromancer set.
É só fazer as missões e sai free. Ah, beleza.
Tiny pieces.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
very cool.
lot
Ah, tá. Esse é free.
going on there.
We've
Verdade.
also been making these chests
Esse
to
aqui
kind of
também que
let
ele tá
you,
falando, né?
more easily dictate and decide what goes where. So this one is, for rocks and ore, and it's obvious from
Eu tô meio cego aqui também, não vi as moedas.
One as well, yeah.
Golems are free with the update.
Golems are just the
Quero chorar no game.
we've talked about prior to like battle.
Vamos reclamar pra Funcom, queremos emote de choro. Quando nós perdemos o cavalo, o lacaio, né, Serena?
Like, download some DLC or whatever other than just the update, just part of the update for everyone.
Oh, someone asked if you'll see the
Por que eles dão essas poção de graça, né, gente?
if we were able to go that far, but it is a thing that
Isso aqui é pra banar, é isso?
to do.
Olha aí.
We'll have to see.
Olha aí. Se for pra banar...
This emote sadly is
Não,
not
isso não é uma arma, né,
the
gente?
preview yet, but this is really just standing there waving the fan at someone. There's a golem pet as well.
Posso ter sentimentos no jogo.
What the dog doing?
Verdade.
Iranian horse. The blood crystal weapons are really cool.
Yeah, we have a couple.
As armas perdeu a graça pra mim.
I'll show them in a
Yeah.
moment, but they have that
Depois que eles acabaram com a espada de Kron.
golems in the ground worked into them. There's a Tyranian sword there.
Meu Deus, que espada horrível.
Really fancy. Yeah, this is the
This is
armor
the
set that
set.
we
A armadura tá aí, ó.
Yep.
Tá no passe. Essa aí
There's
pelo
also
menos,
be-
né?
There'll be other like
Tinha outra ali também,
costume
né?
sets that are themed around Golemancy as well. No, so
Golem
Gothmar,
crafting.
there's multiple
Bancada para ser
types of
adquirido no
specialized containers.
PES.
You saw the rocks and ore one. There's also one for lumber. I think there's a couple other ones.
É...
I'd have to check off the top of my head, but yeah.
Meu sonho de consumo, um emote de ventilador?
Oh, I didn't unlock the whole thing.
De abanador?
Mostly unlocked.
Olha esse, ó.
Warcry emote. That one's really awesome. Your
Ó, esse quando eu ficar brabo, ó, Serena, ó.
really loud.
Need to bug someone for need more coins.
Fica na toa!
Another version of the stone golem. That's one.
Dá
you
um
can use to
grito.
craft. Cool. So there's a sneak peek at the battle pass itself.
Volta lá, eu queria ver o que que é aquilo. É uma armadura?
So
Nem vi direito.
like the sword,
Volta lá, gente.
just kind of go in vanity mode.
Ah, é essa armadura, né? Que estão
You
mostrando.
can see the material worked into it.
Mm-hmm.
This monitor is a bit washed out.
It is, but I think it should display okay on the stream.
Machadão.
So they've got that cool
Gente, perdeu a
red
graça.
rock component to them.
Mm-hmm.
Essas armas
Does it
And
glow?
it does not glow.
não acho mais graça.
It's a little bit too high fantasy for it to have a passive.
Até agora nada de bom, né, galera? Vamos falar, né?
We
vi
kind of
nada
get this
de-
sort of almost like subsurface
Se vai vir uma dungeon, aí sim, acho que é a única coisa, mas não
to
sei.
make it look like there's a little bit of.
Alguém viu falar se vai vir dungeon mesmo?
And oops, I put the wrong boots on.
Jailton, Serena, mas lembre-se, Conan é um bárbaro. Cimério,
And there's that
ele
set.
nunca
That
chora. Por isso eu choro por ele. É, entendi.
God, man, that's a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Goblin.
Jeez.
I wasn't kidding.
I
It's-
didn't
it's
realize. Yeah,
crazy.
those gauntlets are just like Oh my god. Can you die this?
Eu guardo as moedas para o próximo passe. Eu também.
Should have good die support as well. You know, the artist I mentioned before.
Nem pensar em passar no bazar.
Work well on these pieces. So, that's that.
Excellent.
Excelente.
Each tooth is made of tinier teeth.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The armor stands can't be posed, right?
No.
Yeah, they're just that static.
Talvez para quem começa no jogo agora gosta, né, dessas armaduras e armas. A gente que tá jogando há mais tempo,
Yeah, well,
Battle Pass.
one of the challenges I think
Eu
we
não
have
acho
also
nada.
with those armor stands also is like different poses can like kind of warp the.
Pra dizer que eu não gostei de alguma coisa foi
challenge to get, like, the right kind
aquela
of
cela do cavalo de osso. Aquela eu adorei.
sometimes doesn't. We ran into some issues with like we had like one thing that was like had its arms crossed or something like that. That was causing a bunch of like
Até agora. As
geometry
outras eu não,
issues, like with the shoulders
não
and
achei
such,
graça.
Yeah, we picked one that was pretty neutral
Yeah.
and would show the armor primarily as a starting point. We have a prototype that has a lot of different options for the armor stand, so we know we can get more complex with it and offer more options.
Vi lá uns baús, mas vamos ver se vão ser para usar.
What next?
What next? I mean, that covers most of. I think that covers all the major steps that we wanted to talk about. Let's see. We talked about the new journey system. We talked about the blood crystals and Mechabos's new crib. We hinted a little bit at what he's up to.
Tá desse jeito aí, Everton. Meu Deus, cara, não desanima.
New Turanian building piece.
Só falta eles mudar o nome, né, do jogo, né, Everton? Podia mudar o nome, porque Conan já tá acabado, né? Não tem mais. O Conan, ele se aposentou e tá lá no bar bebendo.
Some footage from one of our folks over in Oslo. He actually
Novas construções aí, ó.
and this gives you a better
Olha que
idea
beleza.
of just what's possible.
I love how good that Turanian stuff. I'm sorry to interrupt. It looks so good. The horse and the armor set is so awesome.
So yeah, this is just going to be like just a short view of just like what's possible with like the new building sets that we'll be adding that are training.
Usa o de morrer.
And then I suppose, I guess like one of the last burning questions is like,
E a Serena continua insistindo. Sério. Ela quer ainda. Escreve lá no chat deles.
Looks like it's time to go to Slack.
Por favor, eu quero emote de choro.
1 second. I'm just going to let this play. Do.
I'm really, really bad about keeping up with timelines.
Ah, Everton.
Just trying to shove
Para.
stuff in.
Joga aí.
we have. I need to get better about it.
Virou pague para ter ou ser descolado no jogo. Que triste. Não chora, Serena, não chora.
While we're inquiring, let's go to chat really quick. Oh.
O camelo já demorou para ser montado, né? Meu Deus do céu, como é que pode ter um jogo que tem tudo a ver com camelo e você não pode subir no camelo?
Dang it, sorry.
I was just talking with someone being like, something's up with the audio.
Yeah, this mic just died.
The battery's dead.
The
Yeah.
biggest
Do you want to steal mine?
question
Yeah, we can.
is also like, when can we expect this to come out?
Yeah, that's what we're working.
Oh,
Now we're just gonna
Já
share some
comentou,
things
é?
that we're working on.
oh,
Beleza.
Out.
I'm sorry.
Jailton,
Yeah, they're looking into
na próxima
confirming right
atualização
now.
vai chamar
My beard is too.
Conan
It's just sucking all the energy.
Farmington.
That's the source of my power is that I suck out.
Dition.
Yeah, I absorb all
It's
the.
like Rapunzel with the mom, like, she grabs the magic from her hair or something.
Yes.
Something like that.
I just absorb all.
Vai ser novas pelo jeito, Vulcano. As coisas do bazar, alguma coisa antiga vai ter, né? Mas passada, mas deve ser tudo novo, né?
It's just me having a chaotic aura, so.
Ah, você tem bolso? Eu não tenho bolso mais. O bolso tá chorando. O meu morreu já, meu bolso. Eu só uso. Deixa pra lá. Só roupa sem bolso.
Wow, lots of stuff in chat.
Com esse calor, então, nem dá pra usar roupa.
Bizarre, I believe.
Eu nem tenho bolsos. Pois é, isso que eu falei. Eu,
Oh, I'm sorry.
eu tô andando só de calção e esse calção não tem bolso
Scaffolding
mais.
set and all that. That comes with the. Oh, it's right there.
If you want to change
Oh, yeah,
stuff,
sure.
we could
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
show that.
In regards to the
Tudo novo, diz aqui o Luiz, no bazar.
swap button, is there
Olha aí.
whatever you're wearing, swap with the mannequin?
Olha que lindo. Olha a maravilha.
No, I think that there is a button to take everything off of it,
Okay.
but there's not just a immediate.
E a armadura chinesa vai continuar ali.
New feline.
Gente, não almocei, tô morrendo de fome.
Oh yeah, that's just like that's the test.
comer um amendoim aqui, se não atrapalhar vocês.
Super fast.
Yeah, this is another case where you might see stuff that's not not done and incomplete, but there's a whole set of different sorcerer themed outfits.
Yeah, different mounts, weapons, and an emote themed around different thaumaturgic elements.
Yeah, that one gets a bit cut off.
Oh yeah, that's good to see.
This one's really cool. It has
Hidromel.
kind of different like praying or ritual oriented emotes. I love that one.
Love that Czar armor. Thank you. So let me see if. Okay,
The pits.
and so we can at least say public beta for
Ele tá chorando, lembra, impressão minha?
is
O
planned
emote.
to go live this Thursday, the 23rd of February. For those who haven't been following along for years, we used to call it Test Live, and now we just call it the public beta because Test Live just never really made sense, and that was an old legacy naming scheme that we've had for a decade.
There was some confusion because we use Test Live for also the name of a branch internally.
Oh, of course.
So we cleared that up.
So chapter 3 will be chapter 3 will be available for testing this Thursday.
E o Everton tá bem desanimado, né, Everton? Meu Deus, cara.
Official release date is currently planned as March 14th.
Oops, that's the joke I meant.
Mark your calendars, friends. Chapter 3 will be the final chapter. It will be the ultimate chapter of the Age of Sorcery, and then we will then shift into a new age, a different age.
Yep,
Period. Full stop.
that's it. Yeah, it is really cool to see. I think that we talked about it a bit earlier in the show, but
Já tô vendo a Serena se achando com essas emotes aí.
because the ending is
Ela fica dando mortal
and that's
toda hora.
why we're not showing all the content because it's going to be an experience to have.
Já vi coisas repetidas no bazar, diz o Luiz.
Yes, and marketing ads 2020.
Vulcano, gostei dos tigres. Dá pra montar neles?
Thank you, friends.
Freak dia 23 entra para o beta. Olha aí.
Covers it.
Test live. Dia 23, então.
I was going to say I could just show.
No PC, então, galera. Olha.
Yeah, it's
O Freak tá dizendo ali que dia 23 entra em test live. Ó.
still in development, but
Vamos fazer live aqui pra mostrar pra vocês.
no big deal.
Olha aí, Serena. Não é isso aí, ó.
I think that covers it as far as like things we wanted to talk about for chapter 3.
É só ser feliz aí, ó.
We're just a little bit over an hour, so we do actually have to get going pretty soon. We may be able to take maybe a couple questions if we haven't answered them, but otherwise,
Senta na cadeirinha e põe
we'll
lacai pra ficar banando.
look forward to seeing you on the test server and hearing all your feedback.
Que isso, gente?
It's probably worth saying, but there will be more stuff in the update than we went over today as well. We just hit the big points.
Yep, yeah, this is just like a preview stream. Like everything else, you will be able to.
O cara tava
actually,
puxando
play
uma ali?
with your
O que
own
que é?
hands This Thursday.
É isso?
So
Não tenho dinheiro.
just wait till later this week and you'll be able to answer it
14 de março, lançamento, galera. Aí, já temos aí, ó.
No, we're not.
14 de março,
Sorry.
lançamento.
Age of Spinosaurus. That's spoilers. That's the next age.
Vulcano, ora quem gosta de morar no deserto,
Every
construções vai ficar legal. Beleza.
Dinosaur onesie.
E nada de masmorra. Pois é, cadê as masmorra?
The feature still.
Porra, gente, eles estão mostrando coisa que, né? Sinceramente, por que ficar mostrando emoji, né?
Issues with it.
Emoji, não sei, eu até gosto,
As
mas
soon as we know more,
acho
we'll
uma
let
perca
you know.
de tempo. Mostrar na live isso, né?
And I mean, like with with this patch, there's going to be a lot of bug fixes. It's not just the addition
Yeah.
of these new things.
Cadê a dungeon?
Yeah, my bad.
Pois é, cadê a dungeon? O Everton tá dizendo aqui.
It's this update that's going to have a
Estão enrolando aí, né?
say it's a fix. It's definitely an improvement to climbing. So when your
O
character
Cano Serena não vai jogar, vai ficar apenas
I think it's this
sentado no trono.
one. If it's not this one, it's
É, tomara que ela não faça eu ficar lá abanando ela, né? Bota um lacaio, faz favor, né, Serena?
update the engine. Never gonna happen.
We've been over this. I think it's like every stream we've been
Yeah,
talking
it's
about.
kind of just a meme. It's just a meme at this point. But Exiles is not a simple Unreal Engine version. Like you can't just right click it and say I have a change engine version. We have a lot of custom code in the engine code itself, which makes it impossible to just change the version.
Well, okay. I think that is a good point to stop for today. We look forward to hearing about all your questions or feedback about today's stream on social media or on the forums. And of course, again, Chapter 3 will be available on the public test server this Thursday, the 23rd. Big shout outs to our support staff for helping out with chat today. Big shout outs to Nicole for hanging out with us, as well as marketing and producer folks helping answer questions live on Slack. And thanks to you, of course.
Só estética, você acha, Serena? Só estética? Será?
I think that's about it for me. Thanks for helping, Nicole. Appreciate it.
Hi, bye.
Thanks, y'all. I think that's about it.
Yep.
We shall see
Acabou?
you the next time and look forward to seeing you in game.
Bye.
Bye. As I awkwardly change scenes. Wait, let me. Anyway. Bye.
É isso, gente? Acabou? Coloque aí nos comentários, galera. O que vocês acharam aí? Sensacional, hein? Algum comentário aí? E aí? O que vocês acharam da nova atualização? Não foge não. O quê? Até que enfim apareceu alguém bonito na live. Ah! Assim, vai criar pedras de sangue. Cadê a dungeon? Pois é, cadê a dungeon, gente? A Serena tá perguntando aqui. Seria melhor ter ido assistir o filme do Pelé. Ah, mas daí vocês acabam também com a minha transmissão aqui, né? Eu achei legal. Ô, a Funcom não ajuda nem os canais, né, a transmitir aqui, porra. Faz um negócio tão ruim. Gente do céu, o que foi isso, né? O que foi essa transmissão? Estou estupefato aqui. Soubesse ainda assistir a sessão da tarde, né? É isso que hoje tem? O filme do Pelé ou é... ou é emojis? É, emoji não, é meme, né? Acho que é meme. Jailton, o pessoal do Funcom tem de chamar os psicólogos. Compre todas as nossas porcarias agora, meu Deus. Vulcano, eles devem colocar a DG no final do capítulo 3. Não responderam você, Luiz. Que coisa, hein? Everton, eu vou procurar outro jogo. Ah, Everton, para. Fica aí. Nome Sky? Beleza. Gente do céu. Fim do Conan. Meu Deus, será, gente? Nelson Teixeira, obrigado pela presença. Cadê a DG? Pois é. Não ia mostrar uma DG hoje, gente? Eu achei que era. Será que eles esqueceram? Não é possível. Né? Eles vão fazer outra live mostrando tudo bem certinho. É bem possível. Não é? Será? Eu acho que sim, hein? É isso, galera. Mais algum comentário aí? A única coisa que gostei foi da jornada. A jornada é interessante mesmo, né? Eu gostei da jornada e gostei mais ou menos do camelo, que já tinha que ter faz tempo. O passe tá um pouquinho melhor. É, tá melhor. Pensamos junto, né, Nelson? É, o passe tá um pouquinho melhor. Só também, Serena? Não, e o cara abanando lá. Você não gostou? Do Lacaia abanando? Eu acho que esse é a principal evolução do jogo, hein? Olha, depois desse do abanador aí tem que vir o choro daí. Pegadinha do malandro. Yeah, yeah. E aí, Metaverso, gostou do que viu aí? Metaverso aí é craque pro do Conan. Obrigado pela presença. Agora vamos ter uma porta armaduras. Temos bonecos para colocar armadura. Aí, show. Também gostei. Temos mais opções neste PES. É, parece mesmo, né? Cadê as peças de construção do passe, no passe? Gente do céu. Eu pensei que eles iam mostrar construção, iam mostrar DG, mas por enquanto nada muito, né? Tem que fazer o test live daí para ver. Hum. Achei melhor mudar o nome do jogo para. Como é que é? No desenho. Bem pequeno desenho no bárbaro com tecnologia. É mais ou menos isso aí, né? Eu quero o gato guerreiro. Eu também queria o gato guerreiro. Imagine. Apareceu umas peças de construção, o Luiz está falando aí, mas é muito por cima, né? É isso aí, Serena. Eu só queria algo para explorar no jogo. Eu também. Eu queria isso. Queria o mapa do exílio aumentado, né? Mais uma dungeon e mais um bioma, né? Não sei se tem como colocar um bioma, né? Mas era interessante, né? Já Jailton tá dizendo aqui, se botar gelo na mesa, um lacaio vira um ar-condicionado, verdade. Eles podiam ter implementado isso. É isso, Everton, que você está pensando aí? Mas é a hora que acho que eles Estão ganhando o que podem com o Conan, fazendo alguma coisinha, só mais se dedicando mesmo no Dune. A Funcom acha que é para puxar para o Dune. O Dune é o outro jogo deles, né? Para quem joga um certo tempo, né? Ou seja, muitos anos, né? Taverso. Fala aí que você já joga e tá aposentando quando. Comparar antes de hoje, tem muita coisa nova. Não consigo sair do Conan. É o melhor jogo para mim. Verdade, tem isso, né? O problema é isso, né? Você não consegue achar um jogo melhor, né? Vamos esperar para ver os próximos capítulos, diz aqui o Vulcano. Nelson, as construções achei top. Olha aí, viu? É recriar novas gameplays e pronto, diz a Serena. Simples assim, né, Serena? Mas daí envolve pensar mecânicas, e aí não sei se a Funcom vai se interessar, já que eles têm outros jogos, né? Rafael Ramos, obrigado pela presença. Esses golems vão fazer parte do bazar? Eu acho que não, né? Que eu entendi. Porque daí não dá, né? Tem que ser atualização mesmo, sem cobrar nada. Se depender da empresa, tá difícil. Diz a Serena. Tá difícil mesmo, né? Eles não vão recriar. Não dá pra esconder. Broxou legal essa live. Vou levar meu carro pra arrumar, que ganho mais. Abraço, valeu, Everton. Obrigado pela sua presença, participação, pelo seu apoio aí, doação. Tamo junto, amigão. Eu levei meu celular pra arrumar, que estragou. Hoje de manhã. É isso, galera. Tem mais algum comentário, alguma crítica? Quase não fizeram críticas aí. Alguma coisa maravilhosa que vocês viram? O Everton tem razão, diz a Serena. Eu vou ter que mudar de jogo principal aqui, pelo jeito, né? Vou ter que começar a jogar No Man's Sky. Ou, ou Hollow, né? Não sei se é Hollow, agora não lembro. Deu uma desanimada, diz a Serena. Os melhores itens sempre vão estar no bazar, galera. Isso aí não tem dúvida, né? Não tem como, né? Eles vão botar no bazar. Diz o Nelson aqui, né? Luiz tá falando, não percebi qual é a ideia deles. Alterarem a parte das jornadas. Pois é. Metaverso tá falando aqui, qual tem um desafio gringo? Muito interessante iniciar o jogo no zero e finalizar o jogo no menor tempo possível. O gringo fez em menos de 2 horas. Caraca. Jailton Sons of the Forest. Sai dia 23 aí, ó. Olha aí. Mas lança sem história. Do qual, Serena, que você está falando desse Sons of the Forest? Entendi. Beleza, galera? É isso? Mais alguma comentário sobre isso? Já anunciaram isso. Ah, beleza. Que vale a matança, diz o Jailton. Tem gente que gosta de porradaria, né? Tem gente que gosta de história, né? Mas sei lá. Olha, ó, a Serena gosta de história. Eu também gosto mais da história, né? Eu gostava antes mais de. Mas agora eu tô gostando mais dessa parte da história do jogo, né? Inclusive no Conan eu tô estudando, lendo mais essa parte, né? Beleza, galera? Então acho que é isso aí. Obrigado pela presença e participação. Desculpe lá no começo, me atrapalhei um pouco para começar a live. Mas valeu, obrigado pelos comentários, pelas dicas. E não sei se hoje eu vou conseguir abrir live, hein? Eu nem almocei ainda. Mas muito obrigado pela participação aí. Apoie o canal aí se vocês puderem. Seja membro do canal ou apoie com doações. Ou se não, entre nos nossas redes sociais. Ou nos nossos servidores aí também tem. No PC aí o Filhos do Exílio. Se você quiser entrar, link na descrição aí do Discord. Entra lá e pede a senha. Beleza? Então temos esse servidor e parceria com a Serena Sparrow. Obrigado, Serena. Valeu. Serena que tem canal também, se você quiser se inscrever lá, participar. Participar não, se inscrever e dar o like nos vídeos. Chega por lá para ajudar. Serena tá começando agora com o canal, né, Serena? Muito bom. Obrigado, Serena, de eu estar participando do seu canal também no último vídeo. Show de bola. Muito bom. Então chega nos nossos servidores também no PlayStation, parceria com a Bruxa Má. O canal também dela tá aí na descrição do vídeo. Se quiser entrar lá no Convém. Eu estou sem PlayStation, não estou conseguindo entrar lá. Beleza? Grande abraço então. E se der aqui, depois eu abrimos uma live, mas eu acho que hoje provavelmente eu não vou conseguir. Mas amanhã estamos de volta aí às 16 horas com mais uma livezinha. Vai mudar para RP, diz o Freak. Beleza. Beleza, galera? Então é isso. Um grande abraço, um grande beijo no coração. Fique com Deus. Ótima semana para todos. E amanhã estamos de volta. Mais uma livezinha. E eu fui!